That's sort of club about a club who's got a lot of problems. Sheffield Wednesday reports that the players have been told once again this month they will not be paid on time. That will be the 5th month in 7 that they haven't been paid on time. Decision over non-paying staff yet to be confirmed. I think there's been some part payment. You wonder how long this can go on, Ali, before there is some solution found.
Jeff, I've got to say, I think it's remarkable the way they are going on. Was it a point of the weekend, the QPR?
Yeah.
Because I don't care what anybody says, morale must seriously be getting, affected. With Barry on, when was Barry on? Was it a week before last? And what a servant he's been, by the way, incidentally. He's been absolutely fantastic at that football club. And you just worry, you worry about the playing staff and ordinary staff not getting paid. And you worry 10 more, I always feel, Jeff, about the staff in and around the ground.
Yeah, of course.
Because footballers, generally speaking, will survive. They'll whether they go to another club or whatever may happen. But it's the people and the environment around the club that the day-to-day stuff. And morale at that place must be, dear me. Something's got to give, Jeff, sure.
Yeah, it's just a conundrum, isn't it, as to what gives, The fans are protesting, they're boycotting games, I mean, the players can't withdraw their labour, can they? Because that doesn't help anybody.
No, it doesn't.
Really. The EFL keeps imposing transfer embargoes. I mean, they're not allowed to buy anybody now until January 2027. But that's playing the owner's game, isn't it? Because he doesn't want to spend money on the club.
What do you do? How do you force them out, really? Is boycotting the games the answer? I don't know. The fans are absolutely entitled 100% to do what they feel's right. But does it help the club long term, or is it a short term view to try and get the owner out? But you're right. I mean, like, doesn't look.
I don't know how else they would protest. How else can they? We've seen it with tennis ball protests at Reading, and you get points deducted. So I mean. There are lots of things going on at the moment, and the Sheffield Star's reporting that payment on a loan on the stadium is due today. And rather than that debt rolling over, a portion of that may be called in. And the question is then, does Mr. Chansiri have the money to pay that portion of the debt if that happens?
See, that's as big a thing involving Sheffield Wednesday moving forward as anything else. I think the way you've told me that report would indicate to me today is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Because what happens, for all intents and purposes, you're looking at it from the outside in, that's not going to get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, if players aren't getting their wages and things like that, what makes us think that stadium payment's going to get made?
I mean, if you look ahead, I've got an interesting text on this at the moment, but a couple of 16-year-olds have made their debuts for Sheffield Wednesday this season, because obviously they're pushed in terms of numbers. There'll be 17 in a couple of months' time, but the EFL is unlikely to allow Sheffield Wednesday to pay them to become professionals at the age of 17. They don't want the club taking on any more expense, if you like. But that means these are young men who could have their dreams shattered.
Yeah, absolutely. You can look at it the other way and say, why on earth? I clearly understand it's their dreams to play professional football. But if they've got a lot of faith and belief in their own ability, what would possess them to sign a contract at a club that's not paying their wages?
Yeah. Ben has texted and he says he's a massive owl. He said, why aren't the authorities stepping in and removing Dejphon Chansiri from the club? He's deliberately doing this to punish the fans. Ben believes he genuinely does not care about the club. I don't know how feasible or how possible it is.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both don't know the legalities of it, but I would suggest it'd be very, very difficult to remove him if he's in ownership of the club.
Yeah. It's an almost seemingly impossible situation. One thing I would say, by the way, is that they play Birmingham City this evening.
Yep.
Now look at what Birmingham City have been through. They went through humongously tough times with difficult owners. Look at where they are now. Look at the backing that they have now. Mm-hmm. Things can turn very quickly. So I think for Sheffield Wednesday fans, it seems all doom and gloom, and it's impossible at the moment. But it can turn. Mm-hmm. It can turn.
Fingers crossed it does.
Yeah, all depending on the owner leaving the football club, basically, and moving it on to somebody who has got the funding, to... I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, even if they did beat Hartlepool in the 2004-2005 playoff for the championship, they're a great club. They're a big club, and something needs to happen here. I honestly don't know what. That's the truth. Look, I'm just going to sing our own praises just once more. This is the last time, I promise you. Charlie's text is a follow-up to the comments made by the gentleman earlier. I was having this conversation with my dad the other day about how good talkSPORT is for mental health by just simply feeling like you're part of a conversation and taking your mind away from other things. It is, and Charlie, you are part of the show.
100%.
That's the whole thing, and that's why we read out so many texts. We take so many calls.
We love the
because
connection.
You're a massive part of the show.
We absolutely love the connection, you and I think it's important that we continue to read out the text because the listeners are the show, and they clearly and understandably, unbelievably, they don't agree with everything we say, which I find remarkable.
I don't agree with everything you say, Wally. But obviously, my years in television, look, I loved working on Stop the Start. It's a great show to work on, and Sky were absolutely fantastic. But I didn't have the connection with the listeners and viewers that I do now.
Correct.
So...
How many times have you and I... Right, we've been doing our bits and pieces in the studio. How many times have you and I looked at each other because we've both read a message coming in at the same time and it's tickled us?
Giggled. And look at your reaction today when we asked about late drama, late winners. That made the first couple of hours of this show.
Correct.
So, Charlie, you're absolutely right. You're right to feel part of the show. We're very pleased that you do
100%.
Because you are part of the show.
100%.
No question about that. And long may it continue. We mentioned, I should just touch on this. We mentioned Everton fans. Heard some jeering at the end of the game last night. I find that really hard to believe. Now,
so do I.
I left the place where I was watching the Redwood, when the sports bar I was watching the game on the stroke of full time. But you'd be surprised, wouldn't you? If I spoke to some Everton fans in there.
I'd be absolutely staggered.
I think most Everton fans this season would accept 9th, 10th, 11th. And if they could nick a European spot in 8th, then all
I would suggest that the Everton fans will be delighted with the way things are progressing at this moment in time. Clearly, there'll be occasions where you're disappointed in your team, you moan at a player, you moan at a manager. That's part and parcel of it. But looking at Everton, listen, Jeff, there was a concern that we're going to play in the new stadium in the top flight at one point last year. So things have come along nicely. There's been massive progression. I thought they were excellent for an hour against Liverpool as well.
They were.
I thought last night, for 45 minutes they dominated the game as well. So, no, I mean, football fans will always, and quite rightly, voice their opinion. But Everton must surely be, I think they're in a good place going forward.
I completely agree.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.